Hi, I'm JP Montalban. What comes next is a short clip from a recent training in my leadership circle where we talk about how we elevate ourselves and our teams, whether that's your work team or your family team. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow so that you can continue to receive these short clips, these short trainings, and visit us at breakthroughtodestiny.com to join us for a free workshop. And here we go. In order to be our best, the first thing we need to understand is how we fail, right? How we fail as leaders and how we fail as teams. So I've really thought about what is it that causes us to fail, right? How is it that we fail? So I'm going to share with you the reasons that we fail as leaders. So let's start with number one, which is thinking about your why, right? Your W.H.Y. And reason number one, the W, we don't know our what. We don't know our what. So think about that. What does that mean? Well, in our professional lives or in our personal ones, we don't really know what we want, right? We're not clear in our own heads what's really going to matter 1 year, 5 years, or even 20 years from now. So as you're thinking about your what, I'd give you an anecdote here as it relates to Xerox. Now, in the chat, what do you think of when you think of Xerox? Copiers, absolutely. How about make a copy, right? Would you agree? Make a copy. I want a Xerox. I want a Xerox. I want to make a copy, right? Right? How do you Xerox something, right? You Xerox something. Now, Xerox is not a word, right? Xerox is not a word. What happened with Xerox is that Xerox invented the copier back in the 1960s. And what's incredible about the story of Xerox is that Xerox's market share, when they invented the copier and started putting copies out, Xerox's market share was 100%. Like, can you imagine having a 100% market share? And then in the 1970s, it plummeted to 14%. Now, why did it plummet to 14%? Well, let me give you a clue, and it's never recovered. And let me give you a little clue on why it plummeted. In the most recent vision statement that the CEO for Xerox shared. Now, here's your vision statement. Imagine you're looking for something of inspiration. The vision statement for the CEO of Xerox is, we want to invest in printer and copier servicing. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Give me a thumbs up. How many of you were excited when you hear that Xerox is investing in printer and copier servicing? Not particularly inspiring, right? It's not the what isn't really inspiring, right? It's not. Now, how about if I shifted this around, right? We understand that Xerox is still in the business of copying and doing reproductions, right? Helping people with reproductions. Now, what if I shared with you the following? As Xerox, I want to revolutionize the way you share what's important with those people that you care about. Is that a little different than I want to invest in the printer and copier servicing business? Is it a clearer what, right? Contrast it to Apple, right? So what did Apple do? What comes to your mind when you think of Steve Jobs and Apple? and vision and the power of what? What did Apple, what did Steve Jobs say? Okay, this is what I want to do with the iPhone. Put in the chat anything. Enjoyable for the user. Make it easy. Yes, Liz, absolutely. Anybody else? What else? When you think of the iPhone, what do you think of? The ability to do it all in the palm of your hand. Love it, right? So what Steve Jobs actually said in 2007 when Apple introduced the iPhone is he said, I want to make it smarter than any device and stupid easy to use. I want to make it smarter than any other device and stupid easy to use. Now, could you get on board with that, right? You guys remember the phones that came before the iPhone were things like the flip phones and the StarTax, and you guys remember having to text and having to hit the key 3 times in order to get the letter C, right? Right? Some of you guys that are watching this that are Gen Z, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, right? But you had to press the button in order to get the letter C 3 times, right? And so what Steve Jobs wanted to do is he wanted to make it smart, truly make a smartphone smart, but also at the same time make it easy to use. One of the most beautiful things that Steve Jobs did with the original iPhone is that one of the keys in the keypad was .com. How many times have you guys spelled out the word the letters .com, right? And it was beautiful right there on the keypad. You hit one letter, it's .com. That was Apple, right? Little things. And so Apple didn't invent the mobile phone. In fact, Motorola invented the phone in 1984. But it was in 2007 that Apple came out with the original iPhone. And as a result of that beautiful what, they now have a 15.6% world global market share, which is number 2 of all companies.